Hi, my name is Lillian Sebastian. I would like to tell you about an important Ashland landmark. It's Putnam Stadium, the home of the Ashland Tomcats. In a moment, we'll take a tour of the stadium. But first, I would like to interview David Payne, who probably knows more about the stadium than anyone in Ashland. Hi, David. Can you give us a little background on this beautiful Ashland landmark?
Hi, Langley. Thank you for having me today. Putnam Stadium was built in 1937. It was built for $6,500 by a government program. And today, if you had to replace this stadium, it would probably cost somewhere around $4 million. So the Ashland community has certainly gotten their money's worth out of Putnam Stadium through these past 73 years.
That's very interesting. Have any famous people ever played in this stadium?
Well, most people that have played here have been former Ashland players and have gone on to different universities to play. So as far as famous across the country, probably no, but as far as people famous in our own community, there have been lots of those that people may, depending on their age, people will remember or perhaps won't remember, but there have been some good teams and some really good players that have played here over the past since 1937.
Some people say that the stadium is haunted. What do you think?
Well, I've heard that. A lot of visiting coaches used to say that when they'd come in here. There was a mystique about playing in Putnam Stadium, and the fact that it was there that seemed like Ashland was always able to pull out a close game or have some kind of play at the end to be able to win an important game. But haunted, I don't know about, even though we're close to Thanksgiving, but there is certainly a mystique about playing on the hallowed grounds here at Putnam Stadium.
I heard that the stadium is going to get remodeled. Why do you think that is important?
Well, I think Putnam Stadium and the Ashland community are intertwined. I think when people, sports-wise, think of coming to Ashland to play on a athletic contest, I think they think of Putnam Stadium before they think of anything about basketball or baseball or softball or whatever, because Putnam Stadium has been here so long and the success of the Tomcat football program at home and well on the road for that matter. But I think it's important. I think I don't think anybody would have a problem with remodeling Putnam Stadium and everybody paying their fair share to get that done, because it's after 73 years, it is showing its age.
Let's take a tour of the stadium.
Okay, let's do.
So David, who is Ernest P. Chatton?
Mr. Chatton was a long-time former player, coach, athletic official, known statewide. He was a track supervisor for a lot of state track meets and was really known as Mr. Ashland for a long time. And they saw fit to rename the press box after him when he passed away several years ago.
How old is the press box?
The press box originally, the first floor, as you can see, it was built as part of the stadium. The second floor was added when there was college games here back in the mid-60s. And the Shriners Club that was sponsoring the college game added that because they couldn't fit the different groups that were coming in.
Do you mind if we go take a look at the press box?
No, let's go.
This is the voice of the Tomcats, David Payne and Vicki Martin. How long have you guys been working here?
35 years.
That's right, Langley. Probably one of the oldest two people that have done consecutive games, I know in the area and maybe in the state. Dickie and I have been together with football and basketball for 35 years and counting, because we both still enjoy it.
Do you guys like this?
Yeah, we both love it, as you can tell.
You gotta love it if you've been doing it this long.
Yeah, there's no way you could not enjoy coming to a place like this and see great coaches and great players. And sometimes they stub their toe and we all get down on them, and then that's a good thing about football. They come right back and they'll win a game and everybody get back on the bandwagon. And they're our kids, and we like to watch them play and cheer for them, and just as much as everybody else does.
I see we got the new scoreboard up. Why is it called Doug Childers Field?
Doug Childers was a guy that worked on the stadium here on the turf and really just did a lot of different things nobody ever realized. But he kept the grass intact for 25 years before there was the Tomcat field crew came into beginning. But Doug was a longtime supporter of Tomcat sports, and he went to all the games, home and away. And his family, the Childers family, is a great big supporter of the Tomcat sports program as well. And like I say, Doug, there's a plaque on the wall here that speaks of his many accomplishments, many things that he did here. And he was a friend to us all, and mostly he was a friend to Tomcat football. The team actually comes over for their games already dressed and with their uniforms on, and so they don't really, even though it is called a locker room, it's not really used for that because it is like I say, the players come prepared to go out on the field when they bus over from the high school.
This is where the Ashland Tomcats come whenever they get hurt.
We are fortunate in Ashland to have an athletic trainer that travels to and from varsity sports, and anybody that gets injured on the field is able to come back in here and get treatment or get looked at or get examined or whatever. And, we have a full-time athletic trainer, and then we also have a gentleman from Premier Therapy, David Apps, who is also on the sidelines, and he looks at any kind of ankle or arm or any kind of injuries like that.
So David, what's the history of this cannon?
The cannon signifies Ashland scoring a touchdown, and it's been around for a long time. It's been lost or stolen several times by rival schools, but somehow or another it always manages to make it back to Putnam Stadium. And it used to be real loud. Now it's kind of been toned down because of neighbors' complaints about cracked walls and ceilings. But it serves a good purpose. I think people in the neighborhood are obviously here in the stadium all know when Ashland scores because it's very well been able to hear. You can hear it real well inside the stadium.
I know, David, I noticed there's paw prints leading from the front end of the gate and to the locker room.
That's right, Langley. They several years ago, somebody got the idea to come out of the locker room and come to where they come down the stairs. That has been a long-standing tradition, coming down the stairs. But the paw prints is something they walk on to lead themselves that direction, and it's on the street, Elm Street, and comes up here to the stadium, and it's a nice touch. Just part of the tradition. The catwalk is part of the tradition that goes with everything else here at Putnam Stadium.
I noticed that the concession stand is newer than all parts of Putnam Stadium.
That's right, Langley. The addition to the front of the stadium was built in 1996, and there are new restrooms, a new concession area, and areas for sales by different booster groups, and it really makes a nice addition. The old front, people that remember, was really just had small, antiquated facilities, but this has really brought things up to standard as far as our entrance, and it really adds to the stadium.
Thank you, David, for taking your time to tell me about Putnam Stadium. I'm Lillian Sebastian signing off from Putnam Stadium. Thank you. Go Tomcats.